Hey guys, before we watch the video, I would like to thank you for your support and hope to see you throughout the rest of this journey. If you would like to see more content of the inspirational success of people's life, please subscribe and follow to be notified of the next episode. Thank you. Jacob, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So Jacob, we've been planning for this for a little bit of time right now, and I know you're a busy chef. Thank you for giving us the chance to sit down with you and spend like a beautiful hour talking about a lot of things, including your career, and we'll see how you can inspire our audience. So the first question I always start with is, who is Jacob?
It's a good question. I guess I never really think about that. But I love food, so I think it goes along with the fact that I'm a chef. And I love adventures and exploring and mentorship, and it really over the years I didn't realize how much that's going to tie together into one. I kept adding a skill to my repertoire, and then finally it came all together. And I'm not done yet, but
Of course.
but we continue.
So far, chef, you have great career, and I'm one of your, big fans. I know you for 7 years, and you never cease to amaze me. But going back to your childhood, talk to us a little bit. How was Jacob, and how did you find out your passion for the food? So start with like your childhood.
So I was born in Poland, in Warsaw, and I lived there till I was 14, actually.
Okay.
So most of my childhood was spent over there.
Okay.
Single mother, raised 3 boys. I was the youngest, so I'm the baby. I'm told I am the troublemaker. I was the instigator
spoiled.
and the troublemaker, but we can argue that. But I loved eating. In Polish culture, food is huge. It brings everybody together, and my mom always made sure that we didn't miss out on that part. So I was around food nonstop. My mom would cook. She would do parties for her friends. She would have people over all the time. She would take huge amounts of people and bring them over and make pierogies for them and anything else she could. And she was just a entrepreneur.
Wow.
By heart, and she loved doing that. And I think it's not when I decided, I want to be a chef and I want to be cooking, but I was always around it.
So I think that's how we said the deklik. That's how you find out your passion for the food, because like your mom was always, creating these beautiful dishes, and just the culture around it, having people around and sharing a nice meal together and having a good time.
Yeah, you don't realize it at the time when you're there and you're doing it, but then later when you gain wisdom, maybe you start to realize like where it came from. I don't want to have a cliche story. It was like, my grandma and my mom cooked, so I want to be a cook. I don't look at it like that. I look at it like I was brought up in it, and I didn't realize until my later age that this is something that I love doing. Yeah.
So you find your passion later on, and this is a great message for our audience. Like, it's never late for anybody to find their passion and any time on their ages, or like some people like they start their career doing something that they thought like, okay, this is what I want to do, and then 2-3 years later like they realize like, oh my gosh, that's not meant for me. I want to discover something else, and that's great, chef.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you moved to United States at the age of 14, right?
Yeah, so my mom had it's still a connection of food. I think my mom had a really close friend that she grew up in Poland with, and she moved here to United States to open a restaurant. And they kept in touch over the years, but finally, the circumstances came together, and my mom decided to join her here and run the restaurant with her in Oklahoma, out of all the states that you could choose to move to America, which was a culture shock.
Yeah. What do you struggle with in the beginning when you moved to United States in that early age?
I think what happens is, my mind switched to, I don't want to be different.
Mm-hmm.
No, we can talk about this later, how I
Yeah.
feel about that now, but at that age, I think I was on the verge of like forming who I was.
Mm-hmm.
Teenage years, I definitely wanted to fit in. I definitely wanted to disappear. So I started, again, imitating everything I could and trying to be just a normal kid from America.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy at first to hide it. Like language, number one, language is a barrier, but we took private lessons in Poland, and you actually have to take English as one of the languages in school. So it's not that I didn't know how to speak it or understand it or write it. Maybe the slang was different.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's where my mind went to try to fit in, and I started doing that. I was as social as possible, even though I'm an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
By nature, I believe. I still wanted to make sure I have some friends. I joined the football team, and the odds were against me there. I wasn't into sports. I played soccer in Poland a little bit.
Are we talking football or soccer?
American football.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's important, right?
Absolutely. No, but I knew that if I do that for a little bit, I'm gonna look again
cool.
I'm gonna fit in.
Yeah.
So in 9th grade, I joined the football team, and everybody told me, it's like, kind of too late,
Yeah.
Like, you've never played it, you don't understand it. But I wanted to prove everybody wrong, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And this was a crazy story, actually. Like, I was eating at a local pizza place in town, and the coach of the football team came in with his family.
Okay.
Of the high school football team.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, oh, wow, that's I told my mom, like, that's the coach. And she goes, you should go tell him what your plan is. I was like, what? He's like eating with the family. Like, But I ended up doing it. And he said, listen, like, if you can finish, they called him 2-a-days. It's like a summer program.
Trial. Yeah.
So it's 2-a-days. It's like 2 practices a day. If you can make it through for that week, like, I'll get you a spot on the football team.
Wow.
And it wasn't like I'm a starter or anything, but I'll be on the team.
Yeah.
And I did that, and it was really hard, but I made it through. Almost quit, but I made it through. And then
you joined the
I was
team.
part of it. So yeah, so that's how I continued to kind of fit into the whole image.
That's great.
Yeah. I even wanted to spell my name Jacob.
Okay.
Because I didn't want it to be different. So yeah.
So what the idea came from? Like, you don't want to be different. Why you want to be like everybody else?
I think at that age, that's your desire. Like, you want to be equal with everybody, or are you going to blend in, especially the circumstances of the culture shock.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be singled out. Like, again, like we're at an age where we're not the most mature, so there's
Correct.
different reactions about that, and and the desire not to be bothered like that and be seen as just like a regular kid was my need, I guess, at that time.
That's great, Jacob. So when you moved to United States, when did you realize like cooking that's what I want to do?
That's a funny story too. Like, I didn't want to really cook, and to get into it, I didn't know I was going to get into it. There was a program in high school where you can go half a day you can go to like a technical school, and the other half you can go to high school. And I wasn't a big fan of high school,
So it was a way to escape.
So I was like, okay, so I don't have to go to school for half a day. I can go to this technical school and do whatever. and then I only have to take like a few hours of school and then football practice. So that worked for me, and I did, and I talked to my mom about it, and she was like, well, maybe try culinary. And there was like a basic culinary program at a tech school, Tulsa Tech in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I did it for a year, and I still I slept through the classes. When we were in the kitchen, I had fun, but I wasn't taking it seriously at all. And at the time, I needed to get a job, so I was like bussing tables at my mom's friend's restaurant. I did a little bit of dishwashing, bussing tables, and then serving. And then I wanted to have a more stable job because that wasn't like a full-time thing. And I went to Arby's. And that was my first real job. Yeah. So I was making Arby's sandwiches.
Wow. So how did you find Oklahoma? I mean, moving from different country to Oklahoma, it can be a little bit,
No, it was on top of the fact that there's a culture shock when you come to a different country. Oklahoma is a double culture shock in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because it's, each state has these characteristics. And Oklahoma is like very flat, very, I don't want to say empty. I don't want to offend anybody because I love everybody that lives in Oklahoma and that I made friends there and a lot of chef friends. There's some amazing people there. But to me, it was like a different world.
Yeah.
But it was my mom's choice because of her friend.
Of course, yes.
So I didn't really have a pick like, hey, you get to choose a state you live in.
So once you had choice, what's the first state you visited?
I think it was Texas. We made a little road trip with my friends to Dallas, and that was my first time out of
Oklahoma.
Yeah. Well, no, that's not true. I'm sorry. I had to go to Chicago to take care of some of my immigration stuff. Okay. So Chicago was the
first.
Yeah. Chicago.
And you'd be like, "This is America." This is
that was
dream.
That was on Oklahoma versus Chicago. Like I mean, Illinois has a lot of farmland too, but when you hit the city and you see this but Warsaw is not much different.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like shocked that there's big buildings and everything, but it was still like you always hear about.
You see
America,
it on TV,
and that's how you imagine it. Yeah. So I guess that's what it.
Cool. So, Chef Jakub, everybody have a mentor. Everybody have somebody like they were looking as an idol. Somebody that I want to be like that person. Who is a chef who was inspiring you? Did you have a chef that's one day you said like I want to be like that?
So, I would say when I was still at Arby's, I didn't. Again, it was just a job. I would party with my friends throughout it. I wasn't serious about cooking until I graduated from high school, and I was just like, okay, so what do I do now? Like the tech school is over, high school is over. What should I do? And there was a couple of chefs in town that were friends with my mom's friend that ran the restaurant, and they said you should, Oklahoma State University has a culinary program, and you should look into it. But that's if you're serious about it. So I was just again, I'm going with the flow.
Yeah.
Sure. I want to graduate from college. That's about all I thought. So I did apply, for OSU, and at that time, I was told that hey, there's a Renaissance hotel in town. It's a brand new hotel. You should apply there. There's going to be a chef from New York Park Plaza, I think. He came from New York City, and he's very talented. And he's going to open that hotel. So I went there. A little bit after they opened, I went there. He said he only has a banquet cook position. And I was just okay, whatever that is.
I take it.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, when the week I started, I went to show up for the banquet thing, and they said, change of plans. Somebody called in the main kitchen in the restaurant, so you're gonna have to be there just tonight. I'm like, okay. And I guess they liked it so much that they never put me back in banquets. So the chef's name that opened the hotel was Wayne Christensen, and he still cooks, but just at home, I think.
Okay.
But he introduced me to like a true like who is it
Culinary
to be a
world.
chef. Like
Yeah.
he was very strict. He was amazingly talented. But he showed me like other chefs that he idolizes. So Charlie Trotter is the name that he introduced me to, and I was like blown away, like what you can do with food.
Yeah.
I was blown away, like that food can look like this, and I was just like, okay, like that's where it's first kind of sparked. So I would say Wayne introduced me to like the chef world, and that's since that moment I wanted to be like the best.
So
Yeah.
that's where you want to have a career.
Yeah, that's when I realized, you know what, I'm going to culinary school. Like there's this chef here that's amazing, and he's doing this. Like I want to do that. Yeah.
Nice. So, Chef Jacob, which type of chef are you? Because like there is chefs who like to lead, create recipes, manage people and inspire people, and there is chefs who like to, discover different culture, different flavors, travel around the world. And I know you like to travel a lot, and you like to try a lot of different food. So, for our audience, like, where you see yourself?
I definitely has like a hybrid of all of it, like because I love, like I have a mentorship experience where I could pass on my knowledge, and that started when I was a chef, still in Oklahoma, but I get to coach actually culinary teams, and then I love to travel and eat, and I think the fact that I was exposed, I traveled a little bit in Europe before I came to Poland. I'm sorry, before I came to United States. So I got to see that side, like European, how Europe takes care of food,
Yeah.
like Poland again, huge food country,
Yeah.
amazing food, and so I loved eating, so exploring new flavors, like I wasn't afraid of that, like I wanted to try everything. The mentorship and leadership gives such pleasure when you can do that, and you can see somebody else's growth, and you're the catalyst for that. So that's something big that I want to, I'm not gonna say remembered for, but I want to have that print, like, oh, I got to help somebody in the career, and they were inspired by me.
So
Kind of like Wayne inspired me, like I wanted to pass that on. So I think, and the management side is amazing too. Like,
yeah, of course.
like you get to deal with the operations, with the how does this work? What can we tweak to make this work?
We're gonna come to that, because like when you look at your resume, it's amazing. Working on big brands of hotels, a lot of resorts, different states, and I'm sure like you inspire a lot of people who had chance to work with you. But in this new world, right, when everything is in social media and everything is in digital, I know that you can give a lot to a lot of audiences and people who don't know you. Recently, you decided to open a professional Instagram page that our audience will have chance to see it on the screen with the link. What make you make that decision now?
So I don't think there's tons of thought behind it. I have a lot of material that like I always cherish taking photo. Like Charlie Trotter inspired me with his books to do photography seriously. Like a lot of, at that time when kids were in culinary school, they would use single-use cameras, and like the technology, your phone technology wasn't that great yet.
Yeah.
But I wanted to like be really good. I wanted my food to be just like those books. So, I spent a lot of money on a camera. So I grew that part. Like in no way am I professional when it comes to food photography, but I think I can do a decent job to like present my food. So I gathered all this over the years. So I have all this, material, and of course somebody encouraged me like, hey, being online is the next thing, which I realized like the social media. That's how you spread like
Yeah.
today. So, but that somebody was you, obviously. Like we were talking about, like you should start a page. You should start a page. And me and my girlfriend even like joked around, like, what if we went viral with like some crazy ideas? And
Yeah.
we had a great laugh about that. That's another story. But,
Well, I
but
believe, like, I'm sorry, chef, but I believe you have a lot of knowledge, talents, pictures of amazing food like you've been making and taking pictures of. And a lot of people that we see online, they don't even have half or 30% of what you have. And they expose themselves, and they put their name out there. And I feel like it's a shame that the world can discover who is Chef Jakub, and seriously, like, the amazing talent you have, because we're still gonna talk about, being one of the top 100 chefs in the world and how it's gonna come up and we're still gonna talk about that. And I know you don't like to talk about it, but our audience have the right to know. You're very modest, you're humble, and I think it's time for Chef Jakub to be known in social media and share the amazing experience and talent we have with you. So before we move on, how did you end up by working in the casino industry?
So I spent a solid 5 years in the hotel as like a lead cook. I mean, I rose through, like, I ended up being a lead cook there, and I loved that scene. But I had another connection from the tech school. The teacher that was doing the competitions that I was helping him with, his name was Mike. He told me, like, hey, there's a new casino. Well, not a new casino. Creek Nation in Oklahoma was expanding. They dropped like 200 million or something like that on a new casino. They were already there, but they were expanding. And he said, like, they're looking for people, and you should maybe do like a sous chef, because I've never been in that management position. And I was like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. So he got me a meeting with the food and beverage director over there.
Okay.
And that was the beginning of my casino career. We were literally, like, I got the job. There wasn't really a defined title at that point. Like, sous chef was just fine. And they had like trailer homes with cubicles in them because we were going to work on menus, and like we were the very first of the food and beverage team. We were like 5 or 6 people sitting in cubicles, writing menus, picking plates, crap like that.
It's amazing experience to be part of the opening process.
It feels good.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny to look back at it now, like how inexperienced I still was. But it was good to be part of it.
Yeah.
And once we got to open, I've done so much over that. I think it was like a year and a half in the cubicles, or 2 years. I don't know.
Wow.
But I got, more definition started coming onto the department, and they hired an executive chef, and he said, I'll be the executive sous chef. So I was running the steakhouse for that casino, but then I kind of evolved into an executive sous chef position because I was there from the beginning.
Of course.
So so that was my first, like, a true, like, large casino.
How many outlets? Restaurants?
I think we had like 6 outlets.
6
like
outlets.
Employee, dining room, and banquets maybe. But it was very fresh to me. Like, I didn't want to have anything to do with buffets and casual dining. I just went fine dining. And I was good at it. And I researched, based on research and like trying to be inspired at all times. Like, I was lucky enough to. I got to do my job, but I also got to play, because with my ability and skill, they didn't question, like, oh, if this is gonna work, or should you have some time for your personal research. They just let me do it as long as the job was done on the other end. So I was lucky. I got to do that at the Renaissance. I got to do that at every casino I got to work at. nobody ever questioned that. Like, no, you just need to work and that's it. Yeah.
And that's great when you have companies, they acknowledge the talent they
Yeah.
have and they invest on you.
Yeah, that was something
yeah.
I truly appreciated that. And I mean, I was lucky enough when I was working as a line cook at the Renaissance. I got to fly to New York City to work at a James Beard house,
Nice.
James Beard events, and the hotel paid for it.
Yeah.
And I got to grow like that. After a few years and I still wasn't sure that I'm gonna be a casino chef, but after a few years at the Creek Nation Casino, the chef left, and they just handed me the paperwork. Said like, "You're the chef now." Like, they didn't ask me if I want to apply. It's like, "Here's your new salary. Sign this." I'm just like, wow.
That was your first executive.
Yeah, I was
chef
26
position.
years old, and I got handed that. I didn't want to say no,
Of course.
but I was scared.
It's normal.
I was like, oh man, so now like I got to leave the fine dining bubble and the comfort zone, and I'm gonna have to worry about real things like finance and labor and how to run a buffet, how to run banquets, how to run casual dining. So that was a step. Yeah. And then I met another person that we know, Sujoy Brahma,
Yes.
and he had a huge impact on my career as well, because he said he was a casino guy all the way through. He came from Vegas, and somehow he landed in Oklahoma. Knowing me and you, knowing Sujo, we know, like,
Yeah.
but he like saw my talent, and he said, and I was his executive chef, and he really let me grow even more.
Yeah.
Like, he took care of my career.
You're right. And from here, like, we say hi to
Yeah,
Sujoy.
of course, always. We miss him.
We miss him. He was a great leader, and I had a chance to work with him for pretty much 2 years.
Mhm.
Very inspiring individual, a leader who, fights for his team, who lead by example. You will think like sometimes he's a little bit, have high expectations, but
Yeah.
that's how, it
I think
need to
that's
be,
how we grew.
Yes.
Yeah. We wanted to be better. Yeah.
And we stay in touch, and that's bring me to our next question, Jacob. So how networking is very important in our industry, because like it's small work. And in my previous podcast, I always tell my audience, like, you never burn your bridges in this industry, because you never know, somebody that you work with today, maybe in a year is gonna be in a different country or in Vegas, wherever, and will have opportunity for you, and you want that person to pick up the phone and call you if they have, an opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How networking help you grow in your career?
I mean, since the Sujo era, like we developed trust together, and he knew that I can be the guy that he can ask for things and get them done.
Yeah.
And I think he really appreciated my skill. And he said, like, you should be in casinos. Like, there's benefit to that. I don't know how he said it, but he was basically saying you should, casinos are good.
Yeah.
Like, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to be a casino chef, because I'm still like, I love fine dining. I love, like, maybe I want to work at, my biggest plan was to work at Charlie Trotter's at some point. He was alive back then. Like, he's gone now, which was a huge loss. But like, and I got to eat at Charlie Trotter's.
Wow.
And meet him in those early stages. So that was another impact of like, man, I'm touching the real deal. Like,
big names.
I'm eating at his restaurant. Like, this is the guy that I idolize because of my experiences. So I wasn't sure, but I was like, I don't know. So when my time at the Creek Nation, so it was called River Spirit Casino, and now they're at Margaritaville.
Yeah.
They're a big resort. But when I got to the end of that story, Sujo said, "Hey, I'm in New York." He left too, and he was in New York working for Oneida Nation, at Turning Stone Casino Resort.
It's a big,
And he said,
big property.
huge property. I mean, huge organization overall. I think they're called Turning Stone Enterprises now or something like that. Yeah. But he was up there and he said, I might have a job for you, you know, as an exec sous. Like, you should come out and interview. And, you know, if you think about it, going from an executive chef to the executive sous is a step down.
Correct.
But it truly wasn't because of the sheer size of that
It's a
property.
bigger property, correct.
We go from 6 outlets to 14 outlets.
Yeah.
We go from 0 hotel to 4 hotels, 5 golf courses, like PGA golf course. Like, it was a
Amazing.
monster.
Yeah.
And again, the fear when I saw the property, and I was like, am I going to be able to do this?
Yeah.
But he was
You
just
did it.
like, you'll be fine. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Exactly. and that's what I want people to take from this. Like, you never be afraid to make a decision, and don't be afraid to take a step. You know, sometimes challenges are good, and challenges are good because that's how we learn. And especially in our industry, like, you need to be able to have some flexibility, you know, to move up in your career and grow. A lot of people recently, especially after COVID, you know, and I get it. COVID created a lot of, you know, insecurity and checked a lot of people out.
Especially our industry.
Yes, our industry took a big hit. So people like don't want to leave their comfort zone, you know, easily. But in the meantime, COVID created a lot of opportunities because like now it's so hard to find talented chefs, talented managers, that the company is gonna have to become more creative. How to retain those people, how to keep them motivated, how to take care of them, how to invest on them, to be able, you know, to keep the talent they have. And then, what did you take from your experience in the casino industry, chef? It's a little bit of different world, right?
Oh, yeah.
You deal with high volume, different concepts.
Yeah, it's absolutely a different world.
Yeah.
So it comes with pluses and minuses, you know.
Exactly.
The ability to handle like the financial aspect of a big organizations like that, there's a huge benefit to that because they take care of you when it comes to equipment. Like, we all know how important it is to have the tools. We also know how expensive they get, especially now.
Yeah.
But casinos aren't afraid, or at least the casinos I've worked at, they're not afraid to say, okay, if we need this, because that's going to give us more, create more opportunities. So my biggest takeaway from the casinos was like, number one, like, it's like a live animal. Like, it evolves constantly and it changes and every day is different, and I love that. I got addicted to that. So it feels good to like come in and be like, oh, what's gonna happen today? Or we got these 5 different projects, and then we're gonna have this meeting and that meeting. And I complain about my meetings a lot, but I still enjoy them. But it's a different world than like one freestanding restaurant.
Correct.
I got to work for like a smaller owner during COVID, and it was just like, wow.
You missed
like,
the casino
I was
industry.
out of my place. Like, I didn't realize that. I mean, I was still good at what I was doing, but I was still good at what I was doing. I don't know. But I really did need the atmosphere of a casino, and that made me realize even more, like, yeah, I'm good at casino work. Yeah.
You are.
And the fact that you have so many different outlets available, like, is a huge plus too. Like, you can do a little bit of fine dining, and then you can do, you know,
sports
really,
book.
you can do
Banquet.
casual food, banquets. You can
Franchise.
You can grow a lot if you get good at casinos. You can
make it
become
anywhere.
dangerous. Yeah.
I agree. And like you said, working in the casino also is the big part is managing individuals, and everybody with different personalities, different needs, and on the level of an executive chef, when you have to be the leader of everybody, managers, sous chefs, cooks, line cooks, and have the open door policy, able to listen to everyone, making sure like the procedures are done, like everybody is following the recipes, and on top of it, managing your meetings and answering to the bosses, questions. It's a lot. It's a lot,
It is.
and I think you're doing that amazingly, chef. So,
Thank you.
and your busy schedule, Chef Jacob. How important for you is to keep that work-life balance, and how do you like, have a balance in your life?
It's really important.
It is.
That's one of the currencies that even more after COVID now are so important. Not just to me, I think for everybody. Like you don't see a lot of people that just want to work and work and work anymore. Like I know that was the culture and it still in some aspect is in some scenarios, but casino is another good place, good example of work-life balance.
Yeah.
Like we work hard, but we get to play hard, and I love, I'm dedicating to spending time with my girlfriend and my kids, and give them that as much as I can, give that attention to them
I agree.
because it's important.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you always heard stories like you're in food and beverage, you never get to do anything, and you're always gone. And I feel like that is true, but also working in a casino, I got to, at least now, I have a really good balance of like spending time with my loved ones and still working and doing that contribution. And that kind of one goes without the other.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think the passion is very important, especially like after COVID. A lot of people realize that they can make money, in different aspects, especially online. And that's why the whole industry took like a big hit. So having that passion and creating a team who support each other, so you don't have to be in the operation 7 days a week. Like you prepare your sous chef to take, some of the responsibilities. You empower them, trust them to run the business, and then that's, I think the new era of management in this industry. It's like empowering people, give them the tools to be successful. And sometimes, if they make a mistake, we just sit down and talk about it. Because before, we wasn't allowed to close an outlet, for example, because we don't have a staff.
Yeah.
Or like, an outlet is gonna have to open 7 days a week just because like it's in the middle of, of the hotel or like of the casino, right? Now COVID like changed the way how we are looking at the business aspect and how we are trying to save when it comes, to labor costs or like operating supplies and all that kind of stuff. And technology also is playing like a big role on the industry right now, right? And with you, chef, being, invest and involved with social media and technology, how you stay up to date with what's going on in the industry right now?
So again, I feel lucky to be raised in this age of technology. Like I still remember when I was in like, I don't know, 4th or 5th grade, we had the old school computers with like DOS. Was it DOS?
I think
With the little turtle and like I feel old saying that, but I remember that. But we got to.
But again, your first executive chef job wasn't 26 years old, so you were very young when you got.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then I think first time, I don't remember internet when it showed up. To be honest, like I know that once we were here, like in Oklahoma, like I got to have my gateway computer and surf the internet. But like I'm lucky that like I still have that interest in technology. Maybe I'm not like super involved in it, but I definitely keep up, and we have so many, like podcasts are huge now. Like so many chefs have amazing podcasts. That's where you literally, like right now we're talking about the industry, and that's what these chefs do. Like they keep you current.
Yeah.
Reading articles are huge for me. Cookbooks, look, I love cookbooks, but I treat them as kind of a memoir slash
Correct.
a reference. I don't like just read cookbooks. Um, I love having them as kind of a trophy of like, oh, I love this chef, so I get to see his work. But I was good about reading, like chef books, like stories, like just self bios.
Yeah.
And I think I got away from that a little bit, but that's another outlet. And of course, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah.
There's so much you can adjust your feed to however you want to adjust it, and you can be fed a lot of information. And again, like, it's hard to determine what's like legit, what's not, because there's so many, TikTokers out there that think they can cook, but
Yeah. Well, acting they can cook.
yeah, but yeah, that's those are the outlets, and Netflix and Hulu.
Yeah.
There's some great shows on
Yes,
there.
I
Yeah.
agree. So, Chef Jacob, what advice you have for inspiring chefs?
That's a tough one for these, for this age, post-COVID age, but I always believed. Look, I love how chefs are portrayed, like these badasses with tattoos and cool clothes and
Yelling in the kitchen.
Yeah,
and
but
screaming at people.
you have to be realistic. Like, I feel like some of that ruined like a lot of students, like new culinary students that want to like. I don't know the true numbers, but I feel like there's only very few people that I graduated with from culinary school that are still in culinary because of how the industry is.
Yeah.
And what I would focus on is, before you get into it, don't think you're going to be on Top Chef. Don't think you're going to go on Chopped and become a celebrity. That is an aspect of our industry, but it's only a tiny percentage of who makes it through. That's like saying, again, it's the same thing as you're really good at football and you think you're going to be a pro NFL player. Like, what's the probability of that? And I'm not saying you can't make it, but find out what the industry is about and go through. Like, you're gonna have to pay your dues.
I agree.
Without just this instant gratification that everybody wants now.
Yeah. And I think you're right. And you're gonna have to have the passion to be able to start from the bottom to learn, the ABCs, right? Before you become a chef. And you're right. When you see like now, celebrity chefs, and it's become more a show than, like a real cooking and inspirations for, the young talents. But I know like you had chance to work with some of the celebrity chefs. And recently you just have a great event with, Chef Tanya.
Yeah.
That was very, very successful. And I was there, and I saw how she was like impressed and amazed with your talents. How was that experience?
Oh, she's an amazing chef. Tanya Holland. She's a known chef, and we got to do an event with her, and it was a pleasure working with her. She was very down to earth. Like, you could feel that, we're both in the industry. We're all in the industry. We get it all done together. Yeah, I got lucky to do that. Yeah.
And something I noticed with her, like, she, in the prep area, she's very focused, very concentrated, and she have that support from you, managing your team, making sure like she got what she needs when it comes to equipment before and all that kind of stuff. And we didn't think like one day I can be a celebrity chef.
Me?
Yes, sir.
I don't think I would want to.
Because I believe like now you're making these connections, and like with and I believe like it's right time, right people, and if the chance present to you on, to be like a celebrity chef, or like, to be part of like a show, you will take that?
I don't look. I've had plenty of emails from like, "Hey, be on America's Worst Cooks," and I've had, and I'm not saying I'm special for getting those emails, because I think
You kind
recruiters
of feel off.
recruiters for those shows do that. Like, they want real chefs, real people to be on those shows. I don't know if that's my interest. Like, I love being knowledgeable in that area. I love watching it. I don't watch all the shows, but I like that aspect of our industry. I just want to be really good at what I do, and just keep my head down. I don't think it's my desire to become a celebrity chef, no. And I think you would have to sacrifice a lot.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
And I know these people did, to become what they are. Yeah. I think my timeline went a little bit different. Yeah.
I think you're great on what you're doing, and I think you will be a great addition, to any
I appreciate
platform or show or a company you will join. Silly question. Did you ever, or cooking in the kitchen, or like in the middle of shifts, or managing the kitchen, and something went wrong, and something that that's stayed with you until now? How do you overcome that? Like a hard situation that you needed to deal with, and how you turn it around?
I mean, I don't think I have one specific one. Like, I can tell you many different crazy stories, from people fighting in the kitchen to people coming in like intoxicated, and like there's stories like that left and right.
Yeah.
I think I kind of pride myself in my reaction to something like that. Like, I keep it cool. I make sure, I address it properly and not make a fool of myself or anybody else. But there's not one specific that I could tell you, because there's, again, so many different stories.
Especially working in the kitchen every day.
There's so many different people that you meet through this.
So what is your ultimate comfort zone, Chef Jakub? What's the time you'll be like, okay, this is what except cooking, this is what I like to do?
Oh, outside of the kitchen?
Yes.
I think being with my close ones and traveling. I think those two things, like...
You like to travel a lot.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love exploring. Me and my girlfriend explore all the time, and we have like our favorite things to do. I think we could do them more, once you get caught up in daily life.
Yeah.
But we go, to Michigan every year, and we look for agates and different minerals.
Nice.
And we travel with my kids to like New York City. Like, I love to expose my kids to something like New York City at that age. Like, they're still young, but I'm hoping that they're gonna get this bug where they want to travel and explore, because that's how you gain those experiences.
Creating memories. And,
I love doing that. I think that's my comfort zone.
Nice.
For sure.
Next trip, New York.
New York City, Philly, and Jersey.
City.
Yeah.
And Jersey.
So we got our favorite spots there, and we've been doing that for the last 3 years, I think.
Yeah. Do you have any plans like to travel overseas and discover some of your countries?
Yeah, I think it would be amazing to, like, of course, there's so many plans. When do you get to execute them?
I know.
Yeah, we dream about Thailand and India.
Is Morocco on the list?
I'm sure. I wouldn't mind at all. But I also want to go back to Poland. I haven't been back since I left. I had plans, but they didn't work out. And, now you know, it's not just money, but you just have to find
course,
time
the
and
time.
good amount of time
Correct.
to go overseas and
Yeah.
like spend. So, but that's something important to go to the places that I grew up and show it to my
course,
kids and my
yes.
girlfriend and like
Yeah.
it would feel good to be there again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So as you know, I'm originally from Morocco, and we talk a lot about food. And sometimes, like you know, I'm trying to make you taste some Moroccan dishes. What do you know about Moroccan culinary?
Putting me on the spot.
That's the
I know,
spotlight.
you know, I love, from what I know, is like I love the way Moroccans eat, like together, and more
Culture
of a
behind
family
it.
style,
Yeah.
like sharing, you know, tearing bread and dipping it in dishes, and
Yeah.
the you know, meat that's skewered and grilled over charcoal, and like those are the real flavors of like
Yeah.
I love that like I'm not like too deep into like Moroccan cuisine where I can name dishes and say, oh, I
Correct.
like this, I like that, but I definitely follow a lot of accounts, and when I talk to you, like
Yeah.
we talked about, like, you know, it's the tradition embedded in it, like preserving meats and
The way
and
how
like,
they do it.
Yep, I love that. Yeah.
So, Chef Jacob, I know like you don't want to talk about this, but I really want you to share with our audience. How did you end up by being one of the best top chefs in the world?
I wouldn't. I'll give you my honest answer here. I wouldn't call myself that because there's so many chefs in the world.
And you're so humble.
I got on to the list. It was like Best Chefs Award list in 2017, and you know it's a publication that I got to be part of, and I think I was on it was 270 in the world, so number 270. And look, there's so many lists for chef these days. There's so many, like there's Perrier, there's top 50,
Correct.
there's all the big guys. Like that's just one of the lists, and I was very proud of that because on the top of that list were some of the best. And even if I got to be on the 270, like okay, I'm closer to them than I'm mentioned in the same place.
270 of millions of chefs. It's
So-
accomplishment, chef.
So I loved. I was in New York City at the time, and I got an email, and I thought it was a scam. Like, what is this? Like, and then I researched more, and like, it was true,
legit.
and then it was published. But it's a really cool award that I got to put on my resume, and I got to be a part of for that time, and I feel very grateful for that.
Yeah, that's wonderful, chef. It's almost 1 hour, chef, and I feel like we didn't even,
Fast.
we have so much to talk about. We're probably gonna need to have another episode with you.
Of course.
Before we end up, I always ask my guests last question. So far, what life taught you?
What's my life lesson?
Or like your life lesson that you can... What's your life taught you or like teach you?
What has
We
life
can
taught
cut
you?
this. Yeah.
What has life taught you?
Okay, so what's life taught you?
Oh, I mean, life is unpredictable, and it's how you adjust, and how you react. So I think that's important. Like, and you always have to kind of dig deep and if you need to take a break, you take a break, but like you have to get up and continue. Maybe that sounds cliche, but
that's perfect.
yeah. And you learn.
I
I mean,
think-
your mistakes are
Correct.
and this isn't just life. It's like in the industry too.
Correct.
The mistakes that you make are gonna make you better.
I don't think there is no failure in life. I think it's always opportunities to learn. And that's how it's challenging every day. And there is no perfection. And I feel like everyone, I mean, I'm still discovering myself in this age. Like, you know, I learned a lot of stuff about me. I realized like something that I was really invested on 2 years ago doesn't really matter. And I think it's for me, it's accept yourself the way how you are and continue to learn. And sometimes just don't listen to other people, you know, because like it's good to have people that you take their, you know, their advice. I mean, you ask them about like their opinion because they're important for you, but just believe in yourself and keep trying different things. So
I agree.
Chef Jakub, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for
Very
being
nice.
here, and
Yeah.
probably we'll have you in another episode soon.
Of course, anytime.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here, Chef. Thank you. Thank you for watching. If you find this episode helpful and inspiring, please share with your friends and family. Also, any comments or feedback is welcome and will help us improve our content. Your support by liking the video and subscribing to our channel is very, very much appreciated. Thank you.